Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, here to give you 6 teams that are most likely to shock the NFL world in 2019. These are teams that are going completely under the radar. Teams are not even being considered as playoff contenders, so don't tell me about your 8-8, 9-7 type teams. These teams were the worst of the worst in 2018, but they could just shock you in 2019. Let's get in. 2 honorable mentions right off the bat: the New York Jets and the Buffalo Bills. Yes, they could definitely shock the NFL in 2019, but the New York Jets right now, they don't even have a GM. Until they get their front office locked away, it's hard to see all the players really coming forward and taking claim to an AFC wildcard spot. And as for the Buffalo Bills, there's still a lot of things to like defensively, but offensively, it's still a weak team. LaShawn McCoy is getting older. The offensive line is not quite there for me, so they also missed the cut. Number 6, the Oakland Raiders. That is right, the Oakland Raiders are actually decently likely to shock the NFL world in 2019, and mostly because the expectations for this team are so low. No one's expecting anything from this football team as they're coming off of a 4-12 season, but John Gruden will have another year of coaching back under his belt after that 10-year absence that he had. He's going to feel a lot more comfortable. Their front office is now stable with Mike Mayock leading the way, a trustworthy guys that the NFL players know that they can believe in and get around, and they have something to prove. These rookies that were drafted and were criticized, Cleveland Farrell, Jonathan Abram, Josh Jacobs, they're going to want to come in and prove something. Trayvon Mullen, who the Raiders got in the second round, the cornerback for the second round. That is 4 draft picks for the Raiders in the top 40 picks. They're going to come into the fold. And let's also not forget Antonio Brown, who might be the best wide receiver in the NFL. He's going to help alleviate things for Derek Carr on the offensive side of the football. And they also signed Tyrell Williams as well, and Trent Brown. The offense will be much improved. The defense will still certainly have their issues, which is why they're only ranked 6th on this list. And they're still in the AFC West, which will be very difficult to navigate through, but the Raiders are definitely a team to have your eye on in 2019. Number 5, the Cincinnati Bengals. That is right, the forgotten Cincinnati Bengals, a team that hired Zach Taylor, the former quarterback coach of the LA Rams, to come in and help save their franchise. Don't forget, people, the Bengals made the playoffs 4 straight years in a row from 2011 through 2014 for a reason. Andy Dalton, while he may not be a great quarterback, he's a pretty consistent quarterback, and he definitely is a winning quarterback. That 6-10 record that the Bengals had under him last season was a worse season that they've had with Andy Dalton by far, right? They don't normally go that low, but they added some pieces offensively with Jonah Williams adding to the offensive line, and then hopefully they can get something out of John Ross, the former 8th overall draft pick in the 2017 NFL draft. If he can take a step forward as well, and you look at the defensive side of the football, if Carl Lawson, their defensive end, who was injured for most of the 2018 season, if he can stay healthy, and J.C. Bates, one of the best young safeties in the NFL right now, can continue his progression, the Bengals are definitely a team to look out for. In the AFC North right now, it's wide open. A lot of people are assuming that the Browns will take that division, but it's going to take them a while to learn how to win together as a team. The Cincinnati Bengals might just slide in and win the AFC North in 2019. Number 4, the Arizona Cardinals. That is right, the Arizona Cardinals come in at number 4. Now, they definitely have their issues, and it does not help that Patrick Peterson looks like he's going to be suspended for the first 8 games of the 2019 NFL season. But you look at Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury and the resurgence that they're going to have for the Arizona Cardinals offensively, you have to be absolutely excited by that. Kyler Murray is an absolute playmaker, not only with his legs, but with his arm. He is going to consistently find Larry Fitzgerald, Christian Kirk, and David Johnson for plays down the field. It is going to be an electric offense in Arizona. Don't forget, they also traded for former Pittsburgh Steelers right tackle Marcus Gilbert, who will add to the fold in Arizona. The Cardinals will be an offensive powerhouse. Defensively, they'll still have their issues, but Budda Baker is one of the best young safeties in the NFL, and they added Terrell Suggs to the lineup, and he'll add a good veteran presence for the Arizona Cardinals defensively as well. only coming in at number 4, but definitely a team to look out for. Number 3, the Detroit Lions. Now, a lot of people won't expect much from the Detroit Lions in this upcoming season after a disappointing 6-10 campaign in 2018, but this will be the second season under new head coach Matt Patricia, and normally you see a lot of second-year coaches make that leap. Offensively, you're going to see the maturation of running back Kerryon Johnson, and we've never seen Matthew Stafford with a consistent run game. That's a scary thought. And they also added tight ends TJ Hawkinson and Jesse James, who will look to help not only in the passing game but also in the running game, opening up holes for Kerryon Johnson. Expect the Detroit Lions to be a force offensively in this upcoming season, and defensively, if they can just get more out of Jarrad Davis, their disappointing first-round draft pick from a number of years ago, their stout defensive line will definitely keep the defense as an average unit in the NFL and keep the Lions as a very formidable force in a wide open NFC North in 2019. Number 2, the Denver Broncos. That is right, the Denver Broncos, who traded for quarterback Joe Flacco and also selected Drew Lock in the 2019 NFL Draft. They are looking to make the leap in this upcoming season. We all expect the Kansas City Chiefs to take a bit of a step back with the issues with Tyreek Hill losing Kareem Hunt for the entire season and for the rest of the future. They're going to take a step back offensively this upcoming season, and defensively there's still too many holes that were not only not filled during this 2019 offseason, but a couple that became open as well as some guys left their unit. I expect the Kansas City Chiefs to still be a playoff team, don't get me wrong, but the window is now open, and all the Chargers are still a very formidable team in their own right. They're a team that's been very inconsistent from year to year. Enter the Denver Broncos, who defensively have a second-year Bradley Chubb coming into his own, Von Miller more eager than ever to prove himself as the best defensive player in the NFL. Chris Harris has been extended to another one-year deal, staying in Denver once again. He wants to prove that he's still one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, and the addition of Vic Fangio as the head coach for this football team. He has been one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL for quite some time. He helped the ascension of the Chicago Bears last season, in addition to their head coach as well. But don't doubt at all that Vic Fangio was a huge part of why the Bears were a playoff team last year. He's going to help this Broncos defense, and the offense is already looking better with Joe Flacco, and he's paired with a strong run game in Royce Freeman and Phillip Lindsay. If Courtland Sutton can take another step forward and become a true number 1 wide receiver in the NFL, the Denver Broncos will find themselves squarely in the AFC wildcard race, and maybe even competing for the AFC West if the Chargers and the Chiefs fall. And then finally, number 1, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I am all in this year on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it starts with the additions of Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles to the coaching staff. Bruce Arians as head coach and Todd Bowles as defensive coordinator. We saw these two men come to Arizona and turn that team from a mediocre team to a playoff team and then to a Super Bowl contender in about a couple of years' time. I don't expect quite that in Tampa Bay, but I definitely expect a resurgence with an offense that is absolutely stacked. You have Mike Evans, one of the top 10 wide receivers in the NFL, paired with Chris Godwin, who will absolutely burst onto the scene even more so than he did last season and prove himself to be a 1,000-yard receiver in this upcoming campaign. They still have OJ Howard and Cameron Brate as one of the best tight end duos in the NFL, if not the best. But the question right now is obviously the quarterback position in Jameis Winston. And I'm still a believer in Jameis Winston and what he can do on the football field. We see the upside, we see the big plays, we see the big arm. The question is, can he make better decisions? But if Bruce Arians could save Carson Palmer from being a mediocre quarterback and turn him into an MVP contender, I'm pretty sure he can also save the career of the very talented and even more talented than Carson Palmer, Jameis Winston. I expect a resurgence and for Jameis Winston to save his NFL career, to earn a contract extension, and for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to have themselves in the race for the NFC South in this upcoming 2019 NFL season. Now, the defense is still questionable, but Todd Bowles returning to that defensive coordinator role in which he really excelled in Arizona. I expect for Devin White, their first-round draft pick, to be a new leader and a new force for them defensively, and for them to get good pressure with Shaquille Barrett and, yes, even Jason Pierre-Paul. Look out for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the 2019 NFL season. So there you go. Those are 6 teams that are most likely to shock the NFL in 2019. I'll be back soon enough to give you some teams that are under the radar Super Bowl contenders soon enough, and also give you some overrated teams as well. Do you agree with this list? Do you have other teams that I missed? Comment down below, I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly to subscribe. And until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.